6 hours, 30 minutes. The American Humvee pulls up beside Matt. I got him. Jim lines up Piter's escaping bike. Let him go, Books orders. Jim lowers the M2. What you're thinking? We'll let him head somewhere we might want to get to. The Americans watch Piter disappearing in the distance. Matt says, What took you guys so long? I thought you'd stopped at a Howard Johnson's or something. Hey, shithead, we stick together, remember? Sophia says. I guess it's the racer in me. Testosterone overload, you mean? Jeez, men and their dicks. Hey, I like my dick. Well, just keep it in your pants next time, okay? Sophia nods toward the laser fence. What happened? The guy on the yellow bike had nowhere else to go. He went through the laser, then kissed his ass goodbye. Hope that case is still good. Cutter looks worried. Not sure. It's still on the bike. Fuck knows how we're gonna get it. Matt looks through the laser fence at the destroyed yellow KTM. Books turns towards the group. Anyone ever been fishing? Sure. Why? Jim asks. Because we're gonna throw a line out. Take us over to that laser tower, kid. Jedi drives the Humvee over to the pylon and parks up alongside it. They all disembark. A low-pitched hum comes from a large metal box bolted to the foot of the tower. Thick cables lead from the box to several lasers bolted to the pylon's thick steel legs. Above the box is a sign with a painted skull and crossbones on it with the words, Danger, Do Not Cross, written in large red letters. What the hell? Lloyd exclaims. Nothing to worry about, Jedi tells him. Tell that to the dead guy over there. Lloyd points over to Carlos's strewn body. What I mean is nothing to worry about as long as we don't stray over the lasers, Jedi says. Trust me, kid, when I say I ain't straying anywhere. Jedi walks up to the pylon and stops in front of it. He looks both to his left and right. The laser fence stretches out in each direction to far horizons. Incredible, Jedi says, stunned. I could think of several superlatives, and incredible isn't one of them, Matt says. Yeah, what we got here is just one big mother of an open-air prison with 30-foot guards. Cutter points to the tower. Think we should have waited for his parole hearing first. He nods towards the mutilated Carlos. Question, Jedi says. He looks down at the skid marks made by the South African's bike, then at Matt. Yeah, kid? The second bike, the pink one. What happened? One lucky guy. He just stopped in time. His front wheel went through the lasers, right? Yeah, then he backs up, like real gentle. Interesting. Books hops into the Humvee and drives it forward, then reverses the big machine toward the laser fence. He parks the Humvee 20 yards away from the tower. He jumps back onto the salt pan and walks towards the rear of the truck. What are you doing, Books? Like I said, going fishing. Books steps into the rear of the Humvee. The Americans hear him opening boxes and compartments. Here, hold this. Books passes Sophia a grappling hook. You sure about this? Sophia asks. Yep. Books jumps back out of the truck. He carries his M16 and clips a rocket launcher attachment to the gun. He loads and locks a device onto the weapon, then takes the hook from Sophia and clips it to the launcher. He tosses the gun to Jim. Here. Jim catches the gun. If you're about to do what I think you're about to do, that's kind of ambitious, son. Books reaches down to the Humvee's rear winch and knocks it out of gear. He pulls out a few feet of the thin steel wire from the winch's spindle and attaches it to the grappling hook. Hey, wait a minute, Lloyd says. Just what are you intending to do with that? Books ignores him and takes back control of the M16. Stand back. Clear the wire. The Americans shuffle away to the side. No way, Books! No fucking way! If that wire touches the laser, we're fucking dead! Lloyd says. Kid? Books asks. Jedi thinks for a second. Do it. Books places the butt of the M16 on his thigh. He angles the gun upward and toward the yellow dirt bike. He pulls the trigger. Boom! The rocket launcher blasts the hook into the air. It soars up and over the laser fence. The wire spools out and trails behind, in one long whirling arc. Oh, shit! Lloyd puts his hands over his ears and closes his eyes. The grappling hook lands inch perfect on the far side of Carlos's fallen bike. The wire falls and lays across the mess, then trails over the salt pan, through the laser fence, and back to the Humvee's rear winch. "Bullseye!" Jedi yells. Books knocks the winch back into gear and starts it. The powerful electronic motor turns and pulls in the wire cable. The hook scrapes over the ground, catching and grabbing onto the dirt bike's frame. "Hey, you got it!" Jim says, excited. Fascinated, the Americans watch as the mangled bike and Carlos's headless body are reeled in. "Oh, lucky shot! It's a theme with books, playing with our lives," Lloyd bitches. "Luck's got nothing to do with it. Ask Jedi," Sophia says. "Matt said the last guy on the bike touched the laser," Jedi explains. "He lived, and so I figured the collars only explode by going through the beam. Simple, really." He strolls over to the Humvee. "Now I need to find me a screwdriver." The bike and Carlos come to a gruesome rest on the American side of the laser fence. Sophia looks away. Books powers off the winch. "A lifetime ago, I'd be puking my guts out after seeing something like that," Matt says. "Strange how you get used to the sight of death." "Son, when it becomes a normal situation to you, you're in a war zone," Jim says. "Hey, pass that remote," Cutter calls over to Jedi. Jedi tosses the remote to Cutter and continues to search the Humvee. He finds a Phillips screwdriver. Perfect. "Hey, Matt." "What?" "Write down the numbers for me." Jedi passes his notebook and pen to Matt. "The numbers?" "On the case. Copy them down for me." "Oh, sure, kid." Jedi walks over to the metal box on the tower and unscrews one of the 4 retaining screws that hold its cover in place. "What's the idea, Jedi?" Sophia asks. "Just gotta check something. Won't take long." Cutter and Matt undo the straps around the case and set it on the salt pan. Matt reads out the numbers and at the same time copies them into the notebook. Cutter enters them into the remote control. As the last number is input, the remote beeps and the third blue LED lights up on all the Americans' collars. We got three lights," Matt says. He inspects the digital clock on Cutter's collar as it counts down. 6:23:23, 6:23:22, 6:23:21. "That's about 1 code an hour. That's good, right?" "I'll show you something good. No, I'll show you something real good," Cutter says. He opens the yellow case, and another $100 million smiles out at him. "Lord, oh lordy, now ain't that a sight to behold?" Jedi undoes the last screw on the box's metal protection cover. "Now, let's see what's going on in here." "You know what you're doing in there, right, son?" Jim asks. "Hopefully." Jedi opens the cover. He stands back and studies the complex transformer. It is a mass of lights, wires, and circuit boards. A thick electric cable runs from the transformer down the side of the pylon and disappears underground. Jedi admires the complex electronics. "Beautiful." "You and those superlatives again, kid," Matt says. "What do you see, Jedi?" Sophia asks. "Looks like it's a continuous wave particle accelerator, but exponentially gained up by about 100 kilowatts using a Q switch. I read about them once. Never seen one in the flesh before, though. I was unsure if they really actually existed." "Run that past me again, but this time in English," Matt says. "What's this Q switch thing you're talking about?" Sophia asks. "Sorry, jargon talk. Q stands for quantum. You see, a normal laser has one major limiting factor. The more powerful you make them, the more heat they produce. Too big, too much excess heat, which equals a meltdown and the end of the laser." "Okay, I'm with you so far, Einstein," Matt says. "So to get around this, you build the laser around the quantum switch. The laser's happy because it can hit maximum power and not destroy itself. It ends up being like a laser on steroids." "So, where's the off button?" Matt asks. "There isn't one. Well, not here anyway." Matt picks up an M16 and aims at the transformer. "Allow me, then." "Dude, that's not such a good idea." Jedi steps in front of the transformer, shielding it with his body. Matt lowers the gun. "Oh, okay, well, let's follow it. There's gotta be a break in it somewhere. That's the first sensible thing he said today, Lloyd says. We find a hole in this laser beam thing somewhere, then get the hell out of here and head towards those mountains. I don't think it's gonna be that simple, Sophia says. We may end up looking for something that might not exist. Whoever made this thing didn't want us to escape. We'd be wasting time, Books tells them. So, you got a better suggestion? Lloyd asks. We still look for the codes. We go track down that bike. You guys are out of your minds, Lloyd is pissed. We're close to freedom here, and you want to start chasing your tails searching for a whole bunch of trouble? I fucking give in with you people. Well, I think I'm with Books and the lady, Jim says. But first, I need to ask the kid a question. Sure, go ahead, Jedi says. Can you help an old man out here, son? I'll try. This Q switch thing. Yeah? How come you've never seen one before? Oh, because they're restricted classified hardware. United States government and military only.